Lights go down, spin me round as the stars. The sun and moon align, so let me know that you are mine. Yeah, that's what I hear. Don't move too fast, take it slow. You know that you're beautiful. Give me your hand, everything will be alright. Higher than ever before. Don't let your feet touch the floor. You're all I want tonight. When you dance like an angel, you flow like a halo. Don't ever let go, go. Don't ever let go, go. Everything you say and do, standing here right next to you, got my head in the clouds.
Good evening and welcome to IITW Radio. It is the 9th of October. Holy crap, the month's going by. The year's going by quick. Okay, we got a guest on tonight. Greg Williams will be on the second half of the hour. We have a young man I've been waiting to interview for a while now. It's David Justin. Hey, good evening, David. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Well, if I was any better, I'd be you, I guess. I'd still be young and have your looks. I'm just old and wrinkled. This is where you'll be sitting in about 50 years from now. Yeah, you're a fairly young artist. How old are you?
I'm 37. Yeah.
37, man. You got blessed with a youthful appearance. Apparently, there's been no hard drugs and no hard drinking.
None whatsoever.
Man, you've been all over the map. I love your music, by the way. You've been in the top 10 quite a few number of times. I don't know if you know the way the radio station works, but they have a voting spot on the website. They can go there and vote. I think every week you're on, or what, every couple of weeks?
Really?
He's on there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Marie doesn't have her mic on. And now she's still looking up some stuff. Your biography, I mean, holy cow. You're back and forth between Texas and California, I believe.
Yeah.
So where were you born at? How'd you get into music?
I was actually born in a small town outside of Houston, and graduated through high school, and I actually went to Sam Houston State University in Huntsville here in Texas. Graduated from there, and lived in Houston for about 10 years, and then was traveling back and forth to California all the time, and then back in like 2016. Right before Harvey came, we had the Memorial Day flood, so my house flooded. We renovated and sold it, and then Harvey came, and I had decided just to get out of the city for some time. So when Harvey came, it actually it flooded over our roof at the time. So
Holy cow! You didn't get a chance to sell it before it flooded.
No, I did.
Oh, you did?
Well, yeah. In 2016, our house flooded. It was called the Memorial Day flood. We got 17 inches of rain in 4 hours, and my wife and I we renovated it, and then we sold it, and then just some months later, Harvey came, and it pretty much just took the whole neighborhood underwater. It was crazy to see. A lot of my old friends and neighbors were sending us pictures of the houses. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. How much devastation it did down there in Houston.
Yeah,
but we're fortunate where we moved that our house didn't. It was kind of one of the only areas, the pockets that didn't get water. But a lot of my friends and families, all their houses flooded. I mean, it literally sat on top of us for like 4 days straight. And I got some crazy stories. The town that I was in actually didn't have running water for a month.
Oh man. That sounds like we got a hurricane. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, the outer bands are going across us right now.
Yeah, I've been watching that. Yeah, I was actually in Virginia Beach for the last 2 weeks. Went there seeing some family, and I was kind of watching the storms kind of come down there through Florida, and I'm hoping that they stay away from Texas for some time.
Yeah. Well, just let me know when you move. Like if you come to Florida, let me know before you're leaving, so I know to dodge the bullet.
Okay.
Hurricanes are following me.
I'll try not to with me, okay?
Hurricanes are following me. You need to write a song about hurricanes following me.
Yeah.
Or somebody kicked a lucky horseshoe up my rectum. You know, because it seems like you're dodging the bullet on them.
Yeah.
So how'd you get into music?
I actually, well, my dad, he played guitar, so I was kind of just brought up into a musical family. My brother, he's 4 years older than me, so he played drums. And when I was in kindergarten, I actually went to a private school, and I started playing the violin. And it was either you could sit through like a Bible course, or you could take some type of like string instrument. So my parents, they had signed me up for violin, and I played violin up until I was like sixth grade, and I actually did pretty well. I won a bunch of regional competitions, and about like sixth grade, I kind of gave it up because I realized that it wasn't the cool instrument to play, and I got into sports and basketball, and then later in high school, I picked it back up. I wish I would have stuck it through. But I started playing violin when I was 8. The drums, I'll probably say I was like 8 or 9. I started playing drums, and then I really started to pick up the guitar seriously when I was about 17. I wanted to be a songwriter, and I was always one of those ones that I'd pick up a CD or album, and I'd go through the notes and see who the songwriters were.
Any certain artists that triggered you into going, hey man, I want to be a star. I want to do music.
Um, I get asked that question quite often, and really with the internet now, there's so many artists out there that I'm really blown away with how much talent is out there, and how much talent is really unheard of. But I like Matt Curdy, Matt Nathanson, um, Gavin DeGraw, One Republic. I mean, it's kind of my musical taste is pretty eclectic. I like to think, um, but I really don't have like one artist playing, um, like in my iPod or anything. Um, but yeah, I mean, I like I said, when I grew up playing violin, I was, I learned Suzuki method, and I really learned to appreciate all different types of artists and music. So I think that's pretty much evident in a lot of my songs that I have different styles. But I usually try to keep it, pop rock, which is true to myself as an artist.
Yeah, it's funny because that's the way I started. I went to a private school when I was a little kid. It was actually a Catholic school. And
Yeah,
Sister Jennings, it was either Bible course with her or take violin.
yeah, yeah.
Violin
Music,
one. Yeah, violin one. I did not want to go sit in a Bible course for,
yeah.
an
Well, when
hour.
you're that young, it's hard to sit still. And did you learn Suzuki method? Is that what they taught?
That's been 100 years ago. I don't remember. All I remember
Yeah,
was sitting there.
it's like a numbering system, kind of. Not quite like Nashville style, but it's like a numbering system that makes it easy.
Well, we
Um,
had to play a lot of classical stuff, and a lot of it. I remember the first month was plunking, plank,
I,
plank, 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 plank. I was like, it was driving me crazy. I'm like, well, maybe a Bible study would be a little better. And then I had my first recital where I had to go up and play solo, and
yeah,
I really didn't care for it until one of my uncles came over, and of course they're all from Alabama, and I was living in Florida. And he came over and he goes, let me show you how that's done. That's not a violin, that's a fiddle. And then he
yeah,
started playing some of the old country and stuff. I mean, he was just tearing it up. And I was like, hey, that's not bad. Of
yeah,
course,
yeah. My best friend, his dad is friends with John Summers. He used to play fiddle for John Denver for like 20 years. And when I was in high school, we actually got to go up and visit him in Aspen. That was a cool experience. And, he's a great fiddle player too.
yeah, I remember when I had to do a recital, and after my uncle had been down for a couple of months visiting, it's one of those uncles that comes to stay for 2 days and leaves 3 months later.
Yeah,
And after he left, they had another recital to do, and they were having it at the church that night, St. Mary's. And
uh,
I remember sitting up there, and they called me down and did the recital, and I was like, I don't know, the black sheep, and it was like I just started wailing out some stuff, and I had it
yeah,
close to Charlie Daniels, and
yeah.
they didn't see the
I,
humor in it.
I
You know,
remember my first recital I ever did was violin, and I had never performed in front of anybody. Of course, I was only 8 years old, but we played at this theater, and I remember just walking out, and it was just me and my violin, and all I could see was just these lights coming down on me. I could just see like out in the crowd, just a sea of people's heads, and man, I was like so nervous. It's a lot of pressure to put on an 8-year-old, you know, but it's good to start kids young. I actually own a music school too, so we start kids at a young age and try to get them to perform and stuff like that, because you know nervousness is a part of performing. It's a good thing, but it's learning how to work through it and deal with it for some.
Yeah, one of the coolest things I got to do was when I went to a Baptist high school. Graduated, started out in Catholic school and went to Baptist school when I graduated. And one of the kids, and we never even knew it. My partner Tammy lives over in Tampa. Her and I were friends in middle school all the way up. On my buddy's 16th birthday, he had a party at his house, and so we got to go over to his house. Turns out his dad was Charlie Daniels.
Oh wow!
And that was the coolest thing ever because I'd already given up the violin, and then all of a sudden, well,
Yeah.
maybe I might pick that back up again. He started playing "The Devil Went Down to Georgia," and
Yeah.
everybody in there was going nuts. Of course, they wanted to kick him out of school because his dad was Charlie Daniels, but his dad was donating so much money. They kind of overlooked that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they just asked him, "Don't sing that son of a bitch in the song." He's okay, son of a gun, it is.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're playing in Houston at all?
Actually, I don't have any shows planned now. I kind of took a little break because my wife and I, we have 2 small kids, and so I took a little break from playing shows and from traveling. But probably after the first year, we'll start playing some more shows in around the area of Houston and in around the region in Austin.
Yeah, I know Mark Eric listens to the show from time to time. Mark, if you're listening, you need to give this guy a call and hook up with him.
Cool, man.
Mark,
Yeah,
Mark's one of my buddies. I knew his dad before his dad passed away. I mean, I knew his dad for years, but Mark, the movie High Rollers. I don't know if you've ever seen that. His music is all in High Rollers, and he has a song called Faster Faster. If you get to look it up on YouTube. And that was played at NASCAR, I believe, last year or the year before last. And it's it's a NASCAR song. I mean, it's pretty cool. But I'd like to see you guys hook up and get out here, come to Florida when there's no hurricane.
I love to network with songwriters and other people in the industry, especially around this area.
So you said you started at a young age. When did you start performing live?
Well, like I said, when I was 8 years old, when I played violin, I started, I guess that would be like my first performance because I was performing quite often at a young age, but I really didn't start performing probably, as far as like an artist, probably until I was like 24, 25 years old, and really got serious. Like I said, I really got serious around like 17 with the guitar, and I was just really curious about songwriting in general. I never actually planned to be an artist, quite surprisingly. I just started off writing a bunch of songs, and when I was in college, I actually started like sending like demo tapes to different producers, and of course I was just trying to pitch songs and stuff like that, and so I had heard about this guy in Dallas, a producer, and I contacted him, and I ended up just doing an album, and then my manager Joe Fontaine, he contacted me, and he had some people in the industry that he was working with, and I went out to LA one weekend and wrote some songs and recorded some stuff, and from there it was kind of nonstop, which has been it's been exciting. It's been a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, Joe calls from time to time asking how your numbers are doing and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy, like Joe.
Yeah, he hustles. He's a good guy.
And so you write pretty much all your music then. You're not doing any cover stuff.
No, yeah, I pretty much I feel like I'm not doing the covers justice, Yeah, I guess I'm one of those people that I just like to sing my own songs. I'm not against singing covers and stuff like that, but I always just like to sing my own songs and write my own songs, and I just feel like that's important. Part of being an artist is to be able to write your own stuff too.
Man, as kick butt as your music is, though, you don't need to do covers.
I appreciate that.
No, I'm being serious. If you sucked, I would tell you flat out, you suck, man. Go home. Get off the air. You're not going to make it. But no, there's no way. You're definitely going to make it. I mean,
yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. So you have a new album coming out, or you've been working on another album?
Well, Joe and I, we've been talking about, and of course, like I said, I took a little break from traveling and just playing shows, and really just kind of focus on my kids, and just to do some songwriting. I've actually completed an entire album, but I'm thinking we'll probably release like a EP maybe in the summer sometime of the new stuff.
Yeah, because that's one of the questions we get. When are you coming out with any new music? And
yeah,
tell them where they can get your music at. I'm sure it's all over the place.
If you just go to davidjustin.com, that's my website. You can go in there and you can find all the Facebook, Twitter links. You can go on iTunes. I have my Speak to the World album on there. It's my first album that I wrote. You can go on there and download that album as well.
You're on Spotify and Reverb and...
Yeah, I'm on Reverb, Spotify. Yeah, it's kind of hard to keep up with all the different sites. Yeah, you can go on Spotify, Reverb Nation. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones that I'm on. I think I'm on most of the streaming sites as well in other countries. So I don't know if you have listeners in other countries as well with their popular streaming sites.
Yeah, we have listeners all over the world. As a matter of fact, yeah, she's got all the places it's on right here in front of me now. Yeah, we have listeners all over the world. Matter of fact, we picked up one in North Korea the other night. I don't know how that happens.
Oh, wow.
I bet Kim Jong-un don't know about it. Kim Jong-un finds out about it. That guy is screwed.
Yeah.
But maybe he'll listen to your music. Hell, he had Dennis Rodman come over there, You never know. You might be the next guy to...
Never know. I could bring world peace. How about that?
That would work.
Through music.
Well, music has done that. Some of the great kings and stuff have had people come in and sing for them, and it calms everybody down. That's why they had the court jesters, and then they had the musicians and all that come in before that, because it used to calm everybody down.
Yeah.
You get in there with a bunch of people drinking, somebody's got to be singing something.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I mean,
oh man,
or where do you hope to be in 5 years?
I just want to continue doing what I'm doing now, just playing shows and have people support me. And I'm kind of one of those people that I take, any type of small baby steps. I take those as achievements. I think a lot of artists, they try to, they see this like huge platform that, oh gosh, I need to sell millions of albums and I need to do this and that. And I think they set themselves up for failure to do that, which I don't think it's a bad thing to do that. But I think if that's really where all your focus is, it can set yourself up, for a big disappointment. But, if I can just continue to play shows and network and keep writing and recording and doing what I love, it's just playing music. That's to me is what being an artist is really all about.
Oh yeah, I mean, on Reverb, I was reading some stuff earlier. You're ranked 66th nationally and #1 on local Reverb.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, Supernova. That was tell us about that.
Yeah, so me and a producer's name is Mark Grillo. He's worked with like Diddy, Akon, Cat Graham. We teamed up, and we wrote the song called Supernova. And it's about my journey as an artist, and it really just kind of talks about, if you listen to the lyrics, it talks about all the sacrifices and things that I had to give up and to reach this supernova, which is a career in music. But that's one of the songs that I wrote that really every time I sing it, man, I just love it because it kind of brings me back to all the different memories and um, the different places in my career that that I've been through, and it really kind of motivates me to keep doing what I'm doing. But yeah, we had some airplay with that, and we had released that song, and it did quite well. And
Yeah, it hit BBC, and you had write-ups on it on uh, Tone Flame and Independent Music News, 24
yeah,
Video Music Stars, and what was the other one? Indie Pop.
yeah,
There's a few more.
that's quite.
Sound
Uh,
Looks, and you got stuff all over the place. I can't even keep up with the stuff you got. Man, I just keep
I,
scrolling and scrolling and scrolling on the
yeah,
tablet here.
that's why I just tell my manager to handle it all, take care of it.
That's that's like me. Somebody asked me, "What's your show about next Wednesday?" I don't know. Call the station and ask them.
Yeah,
I showed you my list of answers tonight, or questions,
yeah,
when you asked me what questions I was going to ask.
yeah.
Let me show everybody the questions I have to ask him here. And for the person that just wrote in, yes, he is married. There's my list of questions for him right there.
Zero. Okay, there you go.
Yes, he is married, and yes, he does have kids. And he
Yeah,
is not
two
looking.
kids.
He's not looking to be baby daddy for anybody else. I don't think his wife will kill
Yeah,
him. So, um, yeah. So, are you hoping your kids get into music, or
yeah. I like I said, I started music school this past year. We have about 50 students, and I just hired another instructor this past week. So I have four instructors, and really it's just to a lot of our students, they start about like 7 years old. So we do vocals, we do guitar, drums, bass, trumpet, piano, and we're kind of looking to expand to some other instruments as well. But they start from like 7 years old, and they go up to have people in their 60s inquire about lessons. Um, but yeah, I'm definitely going to put my kids through lessons. My oldest one, he'll be 4 at the end of January, and so probably when he turns 5, I'll probably put him in like guitar or drum lessons, and see how he does. But I'm not going to push music on him, but they're around me enough that I can kind of see that they have a little twinkle in their eye that every time I play, they'll kind of dance and sing and stuff like that. My youngest one, he loves to sing, so I think that they'll probably become musicians or producers or whatever they want to do. I'll support them.
yeah?
Um, but it would be cool. It would be cool if they did something with music.
That's like my son. If you see behind me, I've got a 21-piece Pearl set, and
Mhm.
I've got guitars. I kind of suck at guitar. I mean, I
Yeah,
can play it enough to aggravate people, but the drums are my passion. And my son
yeah,
was 3 years old. He used to stand behind it. He couldn't sit down, and he would sit there,
yeah,
boom, booms, boom, boom, and he actually could carry a tune.
yeah. You know what? I actually, I played violin first, but I played drums. It was the second instrument that I learned to play, and I actually think that it's probably the best instrument to learn if you're going to be playing other instruments because you learn, to be in sync, and you learn beats and strum patterns, which really helps me because, I think I can do, different things that, some other guitarists or other artists, that don't play drums, they don't really have that advantage of. But I think that learning to play the drums is a really good instrument,
Yeah,
especially.
well, that carries over too because the bass has to follow the drums, and
Yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
it all works
Like,
off.
and it helps a lot with songwriting because, I can be, um, I can have a tune in my head, and I can hear the drums playing, and I can hear, how I want to do the guitar and so forth. So it's a really good instrument to learn. It'll probably be, for my kids, it'll probably be the first instrument that they learn to play.
You're a good man.
So, yeah,
Keep them on the drums. The only thing is, Mama's probably going to wind up serving you divorce papers if they're not any good.
hey man, they have some nice electric drum kits now.
Oh yeah, I remember
Yeah,
when I met Eddie Van Halen and Alex, and I had interviewed them. Oh, this was back in the '80s, and
Uh-huh.
Eddie had started on drums, and Alex had started was on the guitar. But because they worked, one worked day shift and one worked night shift, they flipped. And it went on to
Okay.
being a good thing for them. So maybe that'll happen with your kids. You
Yeah,
know, but
you never know.
I mean, I used to drive my parents crazy when I was a little kid with the bongos and the drums and all that stuff. Because I was
Well, yeah. Well, we just we had a we called it our music room. It was kind of like the dining room, and we had a drum set and guitar and microphones, and it was a neat thing to have. But you could only play, like during the afternoon, like a Saturday afternoon. You couldn't play in the morning, nighttime. The drums would carry, and the neighbors would, they would complain about it. But yeah, now they have some really nice electric drum kits. You just put in your headphones, and you can play to different music and stuff. So it's kind of cool.
I never can get used to electric drums. I mean, you don't. To me, I don't get the feedback that I get off a set of sticks. Off the skins that I do. The rubber ones. It's like, okay, I'm not getting that. And I'll hit it one time, and then you can adjust it
Yeah.
to keep going. Like,
All those I played some electric drum kits. A lot of them, they're pretty good. When it comes to the cymbals, it's like you kind of have to hit the cymbals a certain way, or a certain area to kind of get that feedback that you want. But it's good if you got kids that want to learn drums and you don't want all the racket. They can just play an electric drum set with headphones in.
it's hard to do a paradiddle on a. It's hard to do a paradiddle on the rubber pads.
Yeah.
I need some skin, some feedback. But I'm gonna let you get out of here. I want to thank you for coming on, man. And when's your next album gonna be out? In the spring?
We're looking at probably summer.
I was trying to push it there early, so
Yeah. Yeah. You never know. I might release a song. I don't know. We'll have to see.
okay.
Yeah, I have people asking all the time when I'm going to release another song, so we'll have to see about that. But I'll definitely let you guys know.
I'm gonna see if I can get my buddy Zach on there from Ghost Hunters. See if I can get him on the air one night, or not on the air, but when he gets down here, I'm gonna have him call you up so you guys will be like looking in a mirror at each other.
Yeah, do that. I want to see. That'd be funny.
Look it up. I was telling him before he got on the show tonight. It looks like my buddy Zach from the Ghost Hunters. And if you guys that watch the Ghost Hunters, you look at it, you're gonna say the same thing. And this is not the guy from the Ghost Hunters. This is David Justin. He's got music like nobody's business.
I'm googling him right now. His name is Zach, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Zach
Just type in Ghost Hunters. Hey, Chris, do we have a picture you can?
Hunters.
He could probably pop
Is
it
it-
up there real quick.
Zach back.
Oh,
That's his name.
that's fine.
Okay. Are you still there?
Is this him right here?
I can't see it. It's blurry. Here, put up this picture right here.
Yeah, that one.
He's gonna pop a picture up there on the screen so people can see it.
Okay.
Ah, crap. There we go.
Let's see.
Hold on.
My God,
Oh wow, he's wearing the glasses and the.
man, I'm telling you, Big Houston hat up there. I mean,
That was me. I was fixing it.
the same mustache, the same scruff on the chin and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, I definitely see that now.
Yeah, I told you
Okay.
guys look a lot alike. Same hairstyle, everything.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you got to have him call me. We can be some long lost cousins or something. I don't know.
Forget that. I'm gonna say this is David Justin here. He signed this autograph for me. Who is that? I don't know. He said the same thing about you, Zach.
Yeah, well maybe we can put some music on the show.
Yeah, I'll ask him. He'll be down here in I believe December. They're gonna cover St. Francis Inn, which is the oldest hotel in the United States, right there in St. Augustine by the fort. And so-
I've actually been to St. Augustine. Yeah, when I was younger.
St. Francis Inn, there was a girl named Lily who was supposedly the innkeeper hung her because she was dating his nephew, and she was a Polynesian girl and he was a little white kid. And then he comes in and sees her hung and dives out a third-story building the third story of the motel room onto his head down on the cobble street, and then he died. Supposedly they've got like, I don't know, 6,000 or 8,000 videos.
Oh my gosh.
Is that for me? Okay. Yeah, somebody wrote in, what's your favorite song and most memorable? Most memorable what?
Most memorable making song.
One of my songs.
Yes, sir.
There's actually two songs. Like I said, the last one, Supernova, has a lot of meaning to me because it's personal. It's about my life, and then also on my first album, Speak to the World, there's a song on there called "I'll Wonder This World," and I actually wrote that. I lived in Dallas for some time, and I actually wrote that, and it was the deciding factor that I wanted to be in arts. I used to sit out by a little private airport, and I write songs, and I wrote that song. I was sitting out there one day, and I saw a private jet fly in, and I was working a job that I absolutely hated, and I saw this private jet come rolling down the tarmac, and I was sitting there, I was like, man, I wonder who's on that jet, you know, and I was thinking whoever is on that jet is either, you know, doing what they want, or, you know, they have a lot of money, you know, and I thought, you know, life is too short to not chase after your dreams and to not try to, you know, accomplish the things that you want in life. So that's a really personal song for me because it's in the lyrics, it's you can hear, you know, the stories that I went through, but that was actually the deciding song and deciding factor that I was going to be an artist. So I'd probably say that's probably the most personal, and then of course Supernova is another. I'll probably put that as second as a personal song that I enjoy.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Okay. Yeah. One last question before
Yeah.
we get on here, because I got the other guy, so I'm ready to come on right now. I bumped him a couple of minutes. He'll get over it.
I'm
You hear
sorry.
that, Greg?
Oh, you're good. You're good.
If you had to give a young kid sitting there right now listening to you, what would be your best advice to him to get to where you're at now and to make the type of music you're making?
I would say, wow, that's a pretty broad question, but I would say, you know, practice. Don't try to shoot for the stars. You know, just take one small step at a time. Let the small steps be achievements, and really just be true to yourself. Don't listen to a lot of people. You know, there's gonna be a lot of people who are negative and say you can't do this, you can't do that. And but I'll just say, you know, be true to yourself, perfect your craft, and really work on being a songwriter because in today's music industry, you know, it's not like it used to be. You have to create, you know, your own buzz, and you have to be your own, you know, your own business, and you have to invest in yourself. So, you know, always just invest in yourself, because if you don't invest in yourself, no one else is.
Sounds like some great advice to me.
Yeah, it does.
Well, David, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. You going to come back on again sometime?
Yeah. No.
Okay, cool beans. Don't forget, as
All
soon
right.
as you get some more music, send it to us. You got people that want to hear your stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get with my manager, and I don't know what all tunes. Let's see.
Yeah, you guys, you can pick up his music at davidjustice.com, justin.com.
All the links to all his music, all his websites are in the YouTube chat if y'all want to look in there.
Yeah, you guys
David
will be able to go back and look at his music. Well, thank you for coming on, buddy. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
All right, enjoy those kids. They grow up quick.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
All right,
you
good
have a
night.
good evening, buddy. Thank you. That was David Justin. That guy's got some kick butt music. I think we have Greg standing by.
Yes, he is. He's waiting. I told him we had to finish up with Justin first. Or David Justin, excuse me.
Here comes Greg. Should we talk bad about him before he gets on the air?
No, make sure he gets an applause when he gets on there. He's been waiting for a little
I
bit.
got some attorney jokes.
Oh, we found him. We caught him.
Damn it, he's on there now.
We caught him.
I was going to tell some attorney jokes. I was going to tell some attorney jokes, but never mind. You might be representing me next week.
That's all right. That's all right. Everybody likes a good joke.
How you been doing, Greg?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty happy. We got a good Supreme Court judge up there, finally.
Oh, yeah. Well, good. I'm glad you're doing good because I still need you to sue Dianne Feinstein. I told you I think she fondled me when I was a baby.
That could have happened. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think that we need to get the Democratic lawyers on the case.
Yeah. Are you kidding? I'll be able to walk.
Hey, look, I hear you're afraid of flying, too.
Oh, yeah. I'm afraid of flying. Matter of
Let
fact,
me
I just
get
got back
this
from New
straight,
York.
Travis. You don't know where you were when it happened or how you got home or how you got there, correct?
I hate flying. Oh, did I tell you I just flew back from New York?
Yeah, we should believe everything you say just because you say it.
I know.
Hey, the Democrats, I love the quote that Trump had. You don't give an arsonist a lit match.
Yep.
These guys are nuts. The Antifa, the left, the far left has ruined the Democratic Party. JFK would roll over in his grave.
Oh, big time. So I think all the Democrats are rolling over in their graves right now.
It's just sad. It's a sad thing. They used to actually have some common sense. But, you know, it's been going this direction for some time. And the lack of regard for our Constitution. Who are these idiots saying, get rid of the Electoral College and other stuff? Oh, pack the Supreme Court. These guys don't give a damn about anything that we do in this country.
What do you think about Nancy Pelosi and them saying, well, if the Dems get in, we're going to go ahead and impeach him? What grounds do, I mean, you being an attorney, what grounds do they have to impeach Kavanaugh?
Absolutely none.
I
Try
know.
to say this, that, or the other. It doesn't matter. They don't know truth when it hits them right in the face. If you'll notice that Spartacus is always saying, your truth, her truth. According to the Democrat left-wing lunatics, everybody has their own truth. And what's true to me may not be true to you.
Well,
And it, you know, and I'm like, really?
Wasn't the-
2 plus 2 is not 4? You know? So it is what it is. That's what we're dealing with.
wasn't Spartacus the one just not long ago, a couple months ago, saying, oh, you know, I abused women, I did this, I did that.
Yeah.
You know, this is the way you should do it.
Admitted.
Yeah, this is,
Creepy guy.
this
He's a
is-
senator from New Jersey.
yeah, he's like, this
Or I
is,
think he's New Jersey. Yeah, Booker, whatever his name is.
yeah, he's like,
Anyway, that's one of their leading candidates. And then you got that lunatic from California. But the real wrath that I have this week is for that. And I got to say it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, I am disappointed. The Hawaiian senator, Hirotutu, or whatever her name is, that lady is completely an idiot. She's such an idiot that I'm not going to go to Hawaii. I'll go to the Keys before I go to Hawaii. I would rather stay in Florida where we have respectable senators, or senators that at least have a clue as the due process and the Constitution. I mean, that lady is an embarrassment to Hawaii. She's an embarrassment to the Democratic Party, and she's such a hypocrite. You know, it's unbelievable. But there's your Democratic Party.
Senator Hogwash. Oh man, she should shut the hell up.
From Hawaii, that female senator is a lunatic.
Did you hear what she said about all guys should need to shut up? All men need to
Man,
shut
I'm
up.
telling you. And the way they're all spinning all this, the left and the lunatic left, I mean, it's like white men are the problem of everything. Really? Really? Give me a break. You
Yeah.
know, it's about your policies. You know, 13%, they say it could be more. People that voted for Obama voted for Trump. Okay? So, I mean, they're not all racist. We get so tired of the every 2 years, all Republicans are racist and they're this and they don't like women and all that. All a pack of lies. You know, it's what the Dems do. They have gone so low, so rotten, and they have no ideas. They can't win the battle of ideas. Nobody wants to be Venezuela. Nobody wants to be Germany or
Switzerland.
some of these other European countries who have all these problems.
Yeah,
It's
Switzerland.
amazing. It's amazing what we're dealing with. We got a great country right here, and let's keep it that way.
Yeah, I respect Switzerland. I know that people have to have an AR-15 in their house You know, every family member is required to have one or head of household. That's why nobody ever goes and screws with Switzerland. But
How about
did you?
how about that? Well, I mean, Switzerland's a big gun state. I mean, they love guns over there.
Yeah, that's
you
why
say.
nobody ever goes there, and you don't hear of any like mass shootings because you shoot there, they shoot back. Did you
How
see?
about that?
Did you see Trump's speech last night?
Brilliant.
Yeah, where he was. I don't know what part you caught, but where he was sitting there talking about Kavanaugh and.
Call it a victory lap, but I'll tell you what, he was spot on.
Yep, he was definitely. I lost my train of thought where I was going to see somebody sent a thing in that they need disaster relief volunteers needed. I'll give that plug at the end of the show. Yeah, when he was sitting up there saying, "Well, what are you going to do?" He's already in, and he pretty much just trashed Ford in a polite way,
I know. Well, the fact is he wasn't necessarily. Nobody's trying to trash Ford, and nobody's really mocking Ford. But the whole thing was such a joke. And to be honest, I think more will come out on that. I think we touched on it last week. I mean, apparently her specialty is false memories, and that's what they study. That's what they study over there at Stanford, and all these CIA connections she has, and these deep state connections, and the little FBI agent she helped pass the polygraph 20 years ago. I mean, and they always say, well, this investigation wasn't complete. They should have re-interviewed Miss Ford and so and so. The FBI did them a big favor because, frankly, then they could have charged them with lying to the FBI because they were lying not only to Congress, but they would have then lied to the FBI if they're going to run with that story. But I thought that Trump did a great job pointing out all the inconsistencies, and it was garbage. And as a defense lawyer, I was appalled by what I saw and what I heard from the left. And this stuff is never supposed to see the light of day because it's so ridiculous. It would have never gone to court, and if it did, it would be a complete miscarriage of justice. And she was exposed for what it was. I think it's going to all boomerang back on the Dems, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Republicans keep the House.
Well, yeah, the Democrats now they're running on. I finally found out what they're running on today, and they came out and Uncle Joe Biden, which I love that what Trump said about bring him on, I'll whip his ass.
Yeah, but now Biden,
but
that guy can't keep his hands off women. Period. When he was vice president, he was groveling over all these women. Anybody that ever got a promotion or a job in the White House, the guy was all over. He couldn't keep his hands off of them.
Well, you had what cracks me up is you had Feinstein, and you had Nancy, Pelosi up there talking about Al Franken, was forced to step down, and there was really no corroborating evidence. Really, he had his hands up there like he was screwing in two light bulbs.
Al Franklin had photographic evidence of him being a jackass.
Yeah, this is like there's no.
Al Franklin is a hypocrite. That's why he had to go.
Yeah, it's like there's no evidence corroborating it. Bull crap! There's pictures all over the internet, and those are not Photoshopped.
Great. And I used to, let me tell you, I liked Al Franklin as a comedian, funny guy, but he got into the Senate and he was mean, man. He's one of those left-wing Democrats that shout you down, didn't want to listen to you, didn't want to hear anything, and that's the sad part. And there's a lot of young Democrats today, people under 40, that still believe what they're hearing on CNN, which is a real Pravda. It's American Pravda. CNN, talk about a station that has fallen. They are so not credible. It's just terrible what's become of CNN and, the other left-wing cable outlets that we all know who we're talking about and the other mainstream media. It is terrible. Terrible.
Yeah. Which news station are you talking about? ABC or All About the Clintons or CNN,
or NBC.
Clinton News Network or nothing but Clinton.
It is what it is. But these people, the funny thing is they're being played by Trump, and it's great. And you know what? They had a press conference. I don't know. You saw it today. He had a press conference. Trump, he does not mess around. So anyway, in this little, with the little speech with the former UN ambassador, or soon to be former, Miss Haley, who's a shooting star, bright star in the Republican Party.
Did you see where she resigned today?
Well, she wanted to. She's not resigning, for today, but at the end of the year, she's going to be, spending more time with her family.
Yeah.
And I understand that. She's also a big supporter of Trump, and so it is what it is. She let the president know a long time ago that she was going to be leaving, but they went ahead and announced it today. But in that announcement, he opened it up for questions. And for the first time, our left-wing media was speechless, because they know that they always get the short end of every doggone question. Whenever they try to make Trump look bad, his numbers keep going up.
Yeah.
He's at 51% now.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, you see what the liberals did too. The whole Kavanaugh confirmation and everything. I mean, they shot him down, and these libertards don't understand that. And once they shut down freedom of speech, and tell me that stuff wasn't, that they're not paid protesters. Every one of them had on black shirts. Every one of them. I don't know if you.
Getting paid. I saw the video of them getting paid. They got arrested or whatever, dragged out of the thing, and then you right around the corner. Here's a guy giving them money, because that's what they do. They're otherwise homeless, I guess, or students. But I'm disappointed though in our Ivy League schools. I don't know what they're teaching over there. I do know it's discredited 70s socialist C.W. Mills garbage, which is, it's failed all over the world, but they keep teaching it and ramming it down our young people's throats. And you know what they need at Harvard? They need a fence around Harvard to keep all their stupid little ideas inside the little walls over there, because they don't want to hear any good news. I mean, apparently all they want to do is trash the good old USA and our capitalist society. We got regulations and we have capitalism. You can have some regulations. It's a balance. You don't do what Obama did and regulate the hell out of capitalism where you can't even function. I mean, that's what the guy was doing. He was killing our free market.
Well,
look at coming back.
Look at what has been going on in the last few weeks, and this is with the fake news network and all this crap. Speaking of fake, I got to tell you, maybe I should have Cletus come on and tell him. Bill Cosby today got and this is not fake news. I read it on the AP. I don't know why they're not showing it on the regular news.
Well, you can't believe everything you're on the AP, but go ahead. What they say?
Well, this was from the writer or the reporter that I've been following for a lot of years. I've never known this reporter to be off on anything, and he doesn't care for a Democrat or Republican. Oh, Bill Cosby was up there trying to tell a joke, and a guy hit him in the face with a chicken sandwich. Took the patty off of it and hit and slapped him right in the face with it.
Oh well.
That's the latest Cosby update, by the way. But no,
that's what that is what it is. It is what it is with Bill Cosby. It's apparently he had a double life or a secret life or whatever.
Well, the thing I don't understand, Greg, is that, and you've been in the law business. I mean, you and we're like old dogs. We've been around for a long time, and we've seen a lot. And we've seen this country go from being a great country to getting trashed completely. Look, Obama, he spent more than all the presidents combined.
Back and being great again.
Yeah, but I don't know what these young millennials and stuff that are out there running around, like the girl running up, and they ask her, what's her name?
She needs a safe space, probably. That's another thing. They coddled our kids. We're soft, like Clint Eastwood said. After 8 years of Obama, the country was soft. Obama had a country where men weren't really men, and where men were feminized. That's the whole dream over there of the left. The feminization of the American male. Probably not a good idea.
Well, they asked her, by a young girl that's running for governor of New York, when I think it was CNN or one of them asked her,
She's from the Republicans. She's pretty good, actually. Go ahead.
No, the young.
Are you talking about the representative Oscolo or whatever, the little socialist lady?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. She's running for I think House seat. Yeah, she'll probably win that House seat.
Yeah, they asked her what she
The
was.
Democrats need another socialist.
They asked her what she was going to do when she got into position of where she's supposed to be at. She's like, well, first thing you have to understand is we have to make everybody understand, and that if they understand, then then everybody will understand, and we'll all understand. And I was like, what the hell was that? I mean,
Well, the
I don't
operative
understand.
Word there is make, because that's the Democrat way. They're going to make you get this health insurance whether you want it or not, and then they're going to make you pay a penalty if you can't afford that crazy high-priced messy insurance whether you want it or not, because they're all about making you and forcing and coercion, just like Chavez was in Venezuela and Maduro in Venezuela. These people are like I say, Trump said it best, you don't give matches to an arsonist. These people are trying to blow up the country. The left is no friend of America. Make no mistake about that.
Well, Obamacare was never about, or the Affordable Care Act was never about insurance. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Bull crap. Everybody got to keep their doctor. If if you like your plan, you can keep your plan.
It's all unbelievable, like you say.
But the thing is, it was not set up as a health care. It was set up as a tax. And even Justice Roberts said it was a tax. But how they can approve it to go through like that and then make you pay it as blindsiding it as health care.
Roberts ever made.
Yeah, and as soon as they did that, it's like, how can they make me buy health care that I don't want? I had a good health care plan. I had Blue Cross Blue Shield. The stuff went through the roof. My premium increased by 40% in the first couple of months.
Fix that health insurance, the thing. You're right. It's terrible. I mean, I remember years ago before Obamacare when I had a rate increase, and I thought that it was a typo. It was such a big number. At the time, I thought it was a typo, and that was the new rate. But one thing I think everybody can agree on, and I hope they get it right when they fix health care, which is probably the next 2 years, is I think pre-existing conditions need to be covered. And everybody says, oh, we can't do that. No, what you do is we're going to cover pre-existing conditions. Now, what's that going to mean? It's going to mean maybe a 3 or 4% rate increase across the board. But everything else about keeping premiums down and making health care afford, all that stuff can still be done. You just have maybe an extra 3% towards the premium to cover these pre-existing conditions, because I think most people agree that pre-existing conditions need to be covered, because most people have some sort of pre-existing conditions.
Everybody does. It means health care.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you go. I mean, but it is what it is. Hopefully they'll get that right. But I got a lot more confidence in Trump. I'll tell you this. I know it sounds bad, but in my lifetime, he is the best president in my lifetime. I have been politically astute since Nixon. Okay, I remember when Kennedy's got shot, and then Bobby and Martin Luther King, who was a great man. And I will tell you, he is the best president of my lifetime, and he's arguably better than Reagan. But people may not like his style, but his policies are spot on, and his ideas are good. And unfortunately, the left, anything that he does, he can cure cancer, and they won't like it.
Yeah, the whole thing is nuts. I mean, I don't know how the people on the left are sitting there talking about, well, we're going to bring back Obamacare. We get in, we're going to squash everything. That Trump, these people that do not understand that as soon as you do that, your premiums are going to go up. Your taxes are going to go up. That's what it is. And then you're going to be stuck with paying that god-awful, ugly thing if you can't afford it. You're going to be stuck. And the young people don't understand this also about the Obamacare, Affordable Care Act, is that is set up for the younger people to pay for us older people.
Yeah, well, hey, someone's got to pay for these old people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. If they want to pay my health care.
Really, that's what insurance is. It's risk pools. The younger people are supposed to be healthier. They're not supposed to have as many claims. And, that's some profit, but you got to shift all that. The problem is they build in these large profits for Blue Cross Blue Shield gets what, 800 million a year from the federal government. I mean, like they need all that money because they sure aren't passing it on to us.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to have somebody pay. I don't want to pay for somebody's, their abortions, or I don't want to pay for their, their contraceptive stuff. I mean, why should I have to pay for that? I had to pay for my own growing up.
That's the Democratic way. We're going to have something, and then we're going to go on and on and on and on. And Bush kind of screwed up when he did something with the pharmaceutical card thing. I've noticed that in the free enterprise system, there's some places now and cards and services available where your prescription drug, if you use some card, and I've actually got one, I don't even know where I got it from, some sort of prescription card. If you use that, you might save more money than buying the same drug through your insurance company. Now go figure.
Yeah, no doubt. And with all the stuff going on in the past couple of weeks, Trump just struck up a great deal. I mean, as far as with Mexico and with Canada, haven't seen one stinking thing about it on CNN. I think I caught a 30-second prop on Fox News about it, but none of them. I mean, absolutely none of them are covering.
Well, we'll hear more about that when Congress passes it. I mean, that thing is on its way to Congress, and it was well negotiated, and it's a vast improvement over what needed to be done. And frankly, the clock is running on Trudeau. If Canada wants to get it together, they got to get rid of Trudeau.
Yeah, well, I mean, he just signed a great deal. I mean, for once, it's a fair trade agreement.
Yeah, I agree. Once. It's better for America. It's a good deal for America. But you know what? Trump is about win-win. We want to win, but we want our trading partners to win too. I mean, it's not about crushing somebody. It's about making it fair.
Well, it's about
China's
us.
Going to come to the table pretty soon.
It's about us not getting crushed. I mean, now Canada, it's pretty much a 50-50 split now, and the same with Mexico.
It was. But China is still a big problem. But China's going to lose this. We import about 1/5 of what. No, we import 5 times what we send China. So when we tariff their imports, if they're going to get ugly, we'll tariff all of it, and then that's 5 times more than they can tariff us. So I think they're going to come to the table sooner or later because they have been ripping us off blind, and at least he's doing something about it. That's what I like about Trump. He's taking care of business.
Yeah, Amy wrote in and said all the I'm sorry. Oh, Ann, I'm sorry. My thing is I need to get some new glasses or actually clean mine before I come on the air. I feel like Ford, did you see how nasty her glasses were? I'm not knocking her. I'm sure some people are going to rag me out, but
oh, come on. Look, all I can tell you is she got played. I bet she wanted that. She wanted to be I think she really wanted to be part of the resistance and whatever, but that whole thing was such a crock. It wasn't, it was such a joke. And then you had people, establishment people, that one guy on Fox, Mike Wallace, said, oh, she's so credible. Yeah, she was credible like a movie actress acting a role. Yeah. Okay, Meryl Streep's credible when she plays one of her roles. Okay, she's credible as an actress when she's playing a role. And that's really all there was there, because once you started questioning her, there was nothing there. It was just, whatever she wanted it to be. It was, according to Spartacus, it was her truth.
Ann wrote in and said all the right people knew what they were doing with ACA. I'm not sure what she means by that.
And I don't know, but hey, I can tell you this, that Obama knew he was lying, that the whole left who jammed that through I don't know how they even got it passed. I think they passed without any Republican votes.
They did. They held a midnight session and passed it.
And then guess what they did? Then they bragged about lying and about how stupid America was because we believe their lies, and they thought we were going to just be stuck with it. But thank God Trump came around, because it's going.
Well,
We're going to get something better, and it'll be better for everybody.
Here's the thing that is amazing on that is they were dragging Kavanaugh through the thing. Nancy, I remember Nancy Pelosi standing up there and saying, "We have to pass this to find out what's in it."
Who says? I mean, who does that? A left-wing lunatic Democrat.
That's exactly it. Nancy Pelosi was standing. You know, we've got to pass the Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, to find out what's in it. But yet, you got to drag Kavanaugh through the mud to find out there was no collusion. You got to drag, or there was no rape. Now it's called rape instead of attempted sexual assault.
The whole thing was unbelievably stupid. Kavanaugh is such a nice guy, family man, 2 daughters. I mean, my goodness gracious. I thought Trump handled that swearing in ceremony, because it was a ceremony. But that was beautiful. Then he had Kennedy there. And Kavanaugh is not quite as conservative. He wasn't my first choice. But as I learned more about him, I liked him more. You know.
Oh yeah, me too. I mean, the guy was, you know, he has class about him. But you can tell if you've ever gone back and read it. I'm sure you have. You're an attorney. If you've ever gone back and read his papers and stuff, the guy's fair all the way across the board. And today he was sitting on the bench.
He is very organized. I wish I was as organized as he was.
Oh God, you should see my desk. I can't show people my desk on here because it is a freaking mess right now.
Well, you know, I used to worry about it, and then I saw a good friend of mine, a lawyer in Jacksonville, Gene Moss, a fantastic criminal defense lawyer. And he knows where all the papers are on his desk, but it looks, you know, but it made me feel better about my desk.
That's a crazy thing. I know where everything
is.
I can reach under any of these stacks I've got on, and I can pull out exactly what I'm supposed to say next. But
there you go.
You know, I've never, you know, in 56 or 57 years here pretty soon, I've never seen it, the chaos and stuff, even during Watergate. I remember watching that when I was a kid. You know, with the Clinton, you know, when Clinton was, I don't understand how they can be on tour right now and have anything to say about Kavanaugh.
I'm glad you brought that up. This new Hillary and Bill show coming your way to a town near you. I think you can get a ticket for $750, or maybe it's $7,500, but it goes straight in their pockets so they can get into whatever decadence that they do. I will tell you this. It's probably good for the Republican Party, you know. So I hope Hillary runs again. I think she could be a good candidate.
How could
I think that she may be a better candidate than Spartacus.
Well, yeah, that guy, you know, Trump's going to eat him alive when he gets up on stage. How can Hillary be sitting there talking about Judge Kavanaugh, and then, first of all, she should have some respect and call him Judge Kavanaugh now, and be sitting there going, well, you know, Brett, I have to take Ford's word over it. Well, did you take the word of those women that were actually raped by your husband? Especially when, you know.
No. And did anybody ever ask her that?
No. Everybody's afraid of her.
I mean, that's because another thing about the left-wing media, they don't want to ask any real questions. I'll tell you, the media has lost so much credibility. It's like they have less credibility than just about any other group in the country. I mean, they're rated below Congress, for crying out loud. Yeah. I mean, the media, and when I talk about CNN, talking about the mainstream media, they are probably at an all-time low because they're not doing their job. They became propagandists for the left.
Yeah, Ann writes in and said, what I meant was it was presented in a way that people would accept it. Obama was touted as an awesome order. Yeah. And I had to stare at it for a second because my eyes are blurred out on all these screens. But, you know, she was sitting there. She's absolutely right. You know, Obama was a great speaker.
Fawned over Obama.
Yeah.
Fawned over it.
But the whole thing with Hillary Clinton, how long do you think before she actually winds up in jail? Or do you think she'll ever wind up in jail?
Look, as long as we have Sessions and the Attorney General, Hillary can sleep well at night.
Okay, that brings me to my next question. Rosenstein, you know, Trump's on Air Force One with him yesterday, and it's going to keep him in office. Now, you're probably thinking along the same lines as I am.
I'm sure they had discussions about his impending departure.
Yeah, I think he's going to just lower the boom on him 1 week before the election happens.
I don't know when it's going to be, but here's my problem with Rosenstein. The guy was involved in Uranium One. And that cover, and you know what? All the Clinton cronies were involved in that. They were in various parts of government, and they all signed off on it. And $140 million goes to the Clinton Foundation. Really? And then the guy Rosenstein then tries to seal everything up where nobody can find anything out about it.
Yep. And then he signs the FISA warrants. Now, if you watched this past week, the Democrats were sitting there, and at first they kind of started trashing the FBI, and I guess they had a closed-door meeting because they came back and said, well, you know, it was Trump that limited the FBI. So my question is...
The whole thing was anything they say is pretty much garbage. I hate to say it. The left has lost their minds all the way around. It was agreed to by and the compromise with Coons and Flake. Everything everybody knew going in, but nothing was going to satisfy those guys. But the best part is this. I love winning.
Yeah.
And we all won. America won. You know, by having 5 good conservative constitutional constructionist type judges, you know, we don't have to worry so much about some lunatic left-wing president putting our law under the United Nations law. Because really, the Democrats, they're all about one world government and no border and all that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not.
Me neither. This is my country. My people were in this country first.
Hillary would use the UN to disarm all the Americans if she could. That's how screwed up they are.
Yeah.
The left has lost their minds. It's terrible.
And then sell
But you
the,
know what?
sell the
The
uranium to
Republicans-
Russia so they can blow us up.
The Republicans have the better ideas, okay, and that's what's going on right now. I gotta get back to the Trump foreign policy, though. I'm telling you, the country is so much better off when we are a strong country. And, you know, and you can tell when we're strong, because when we're strong, the Europeans don't really like us. They like us to be weak, like Obama. They want us to be weak. They want us to lead from behind so the Europeans can get us into another World War III or something with their weakness. You know, strength is what deters wars.
Well,
And
look
Trump
what-
knows that.
Look what happened with Kim Jong-un today.
What happened?
They had Pompeo over there talking to him. They're shutting down their nuclear stuff. Kim Jong-un went to the South Korean president and told him, and also sent word to the Pope. Now, this is in an atheist country, that he wants the Pope to come there now, and he'll be well accepted. That was just on.
Yeah, that's big. And that wouldn't have happened without Trump.
That's exactly
You know
it.
what? I'm really glad we're talking about this, because there's been a lot of left wing. When I say left wing, okay, CNN criticism. Let's not, mix it up. CNN, MSNBC, a lot of criticism of Trump being nice to Kim Jong-un. Well, if you're negotiating with a hostile power, you're probably going to get more with a carrot than a stick. At some point in time, you want to use the stick too, use a carrot and a stick. But, that's called good, smart negotiations. And he's doing the same thing with Putin. And, that's the largest nuclear armed country in the world besides us. They got 90% of the other weapons. So you need to be nice to try to develop a dialogue, and then you can, and work through these issues. But that's utterly amazing what you're telling me about Kim Jong. I mean, if they, they allow the Catholic Church in there, that's really going to be a good thing, I think, because, Christians have had a hard go of it in a lot of Asian cultures.
Yeah, especially with, you figure before, look how many, we have 4 hostages over there, and 3 of them were preachers. Now, Trump didn't trade off any, by the way, Ann said 4 FISA warrants and some solidarity. But Trump didn't go in and trade, hostages for millions of dollars. He didn't trade hostages for, he didn't trade any. He didn't go to Guantanamo Bay and take out some Taliban and say, here,
one quick thing. Trump wasn't a drug dealer, okay? He's not someone who thinks you just got to pay a bunch of cash to get what you want, okay? He wasn't brought up with this whole drug dealer mentality. And I'm not saying that Obama was a drug dealer. You can do your own research as to what he was slinging on Hawaiian beaches back in the day.
Oh, I have video of him sitting there, back in the day, it was like this in high school, and all the pictures of him floating around. Al, why in the hell didn't any Democrat say that we should take his pension back? And even though he's not in office anymore, let's take his pension back because the guy blew a joint, I mean, I'm frankly glad he did, but
Obama was a brilliant politician. I just had a problem with his left-wing policies. A fine guy, but he apparently got indoctrinated. Maybe Harvard ruined him too. Harvard's got lots of problems. And that some of these secret government programs, this DARPA thing, there's a lot of Harvard connections on that. So there's some weird stuff. And these guys, the safe space, really? Yeah. I mean, if our kids are so soft that they need a safe space, then, because they heard something or they saw something on cable or something, and my goodness gracious, I don't know what the country's coming to. But Clint Eastwood had it right. I mean, the country under Obama was turning into a whole nation of just wimps. So I like the fact that we're getting it back together. We're getting our mojo back.
I like one of my black friends. He's a comedian.
Back.
One of my friends is black. He's a comedian. He said, "Yeah, well, I didn't go into timeout. I went in time, knocked the hell out."
Yeah.
He said, "All right, nothing like a black woman to straighten a kid out."
How about that?
He was saying.
How about that? You know what? And we need that. I'll tell you what. I hope this country starts to come together again. My best advice to my Democratic friends: hey, you can always be an independent. Be an independent. It's at least you're not held hostage by the Antifa, whatever they call them.
Yeah.
The people with the masks that want to burn your neighborhood stores and loot and all that stuff. They don't like some Trump appointee or something.
Yeah, Ann wrote in and said he was not a brilliant politician. He was black and spoke well. End of story.
Oh, well, yeah, I agree. Well, being favorable. I will say this, though. I mean, regardless of his race or creed or anything, the bottom line is he convinced a lot of people that he was going to be the president. But you know what we learned when he became president? That he was his number one biggest fan. I never heard a president say "I" as much as Obama.
Well, his biggest fan was Soros.
Well, I know that, but I mean, whenever Obama gave a speech, I remember his first inauguration, or I've come to part the waters, and and like he was holding himself up to be like some unbelievable. It was ridiculous.
The best speech I ever heard Obama give was when he was in Selma, Alabama, and we'll have to pull that up for next Tuesday night.
Good.
But we were in Selma, Alabama, and Obama stood up and he said, back when the crossing across the bridge, do we have that?
Yes,
we do.
Where? It's 2 weeks ago.
Anyways, he said when I was in Selma, Alabama, or my dad was in Selma, Alabama. He was born in August of '61, right? And he said, when I was in Selma, Alabama, my dad walked across that bridge and he saw my mother standing there, and 9 months later, little Brock was born. I'm like, well, how in the hell does that happen? Because that happened in, 1965? So,
wow.
I mean, and somewhere we have
no regard for the truth.
Yeah, somewhere we have the clip of it.
Well, he also said we had 48 states once. I mean, it is what it is.
Oh, he said we have 52. He said we had. He said, I've already been to all 52 states, and I've got 2 more to visit. I've been to corner, all 52 states, and I have 2 more to visit. And I'm like, somebody had said, well, he just messed up when he said that. And I'm like, as a president, you don't mess up, you know, the 52 plus 2 more is 54. I mean, what states was he trying to incorporate? You know, Guam, Puerto Rico.
Again, he probably can. I don't know, but we don't really care at this point.
Here we go.
All I can
Here we
say
go.
is
Here's
I'm
the.
glad that he's no longer the president, and the country's healing. You know, I'll tell you, he made Jimmy Carter look better.
Greg, here we have the video of it. Chris is
Okay, let's
good.
see.
People say that maybe I'm not an American citizen. Some people said, he has a forged birth certificate. Well, first of all,
That's not the Selma, Alabama one.
it's true, I'm not American.
Yeah, it's the other one.
I was not born in
That's where he
This
admits
is-
he's born in Kenya.
Yeah, that's the one where he was saying he was born in Kenya. Do we have that sound bite? Okay. Yeah, he's gonna. These guys are good, man. Me, I can't even turn the
Well,
damn computer
I
on.
never heard that. I would be saddened if that was the case. If he admitted he was born in Kenya, that really gives a lot more credence to the fact that he wasn't born in Hawaii.
something happened in
But
Birmingham
I think he was. I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, here we go. Here it is, right here.
all around the world.
Can we turn it up a little bit, Chris?
Something happened when a bunch of women decided we're going to walk instead of ride the bus after a long day of doing somebody else's laundry and looking after somebody else's children. When men who had PhDs were working as Pullman porters decided that's enough, and we're going to stand up despite the risks for our dignity and our respect, that sent a shout across oceans. So that my grandfather began to imagine something different for his son. And his son, who grew up herding goats in a small village in Africa, could suddenly set his sights a little higher and suddenly believe that maybe a black man in this world had a chance. And what happened in Selma, Alabama and Birmingham also stirred the conscience of the nation. And it worried folks in the White House who said, you know, we're battling communism. How are we going to win the hearts and minds all across the world if right here in our own country, John, we're not observing the ideals that are set forth in our Constitution? We might be accused of being hypocrites. So the Kennedys decided we're going to do an airlift. We're going to go out to Africa. And we're going to start bringing
It'll be coming up in
young
just a minute.
Africans over to this country and give them scholarships to study so that they can learn what a wonderful country America is. And this young man named Barack Obama got one of those tickets and came over to this country. And he met this woman whose great-great-great-great-grandfather had owned slaves. But she had a different idea. There's some good craziness going on because they looked at each other and they decided, we know that in the world as it has been, it might not be possible for us to get together and have a child. But something stirred across the country because of what happened in Selma, Alabama, because some folks are willing to march across a bridge. And so they got together and Barack Obama Jr. was born. So don't tell me I don't have a claim on Selma, Alabama. Don't tell me I'm not coming home when I come to Selma, Alabama. I'm here because somebody marched for our freedom. I'm here because y'all sacrificed for me. I stand on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
So don't tell me when my parents walk across a bridge in 1965 and I was born 9 months later in 1961 that I'm not coming home to Selma, Alabama.
Golly. Well, you know what? According to the fact checkers, he was being truthful.
Yeah,
You know,
probably.
the fact checkers are a lot of these left wing things. There's a news station called Fusey or something, and they're a little left wing propaganda beat too. You know, they try to, you know, dress it up a little bit, and you know, but it's still a left wing outfit. You know, and they try to act like they're not. But you know, you gotta really believe about maybe half of what you see and none of what you hear on the mainstream media.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but it's gotten that bad.
That's what I tell people all the time. Don't vote left or right. Educate yourself. You know, don't just because.
This election, we have to listen. Let's be real clear, because you don't want to give an arsonist a match, and the Democratic Party is beholden to left-wing arsonists, Antifa coddlers, people that care more about illegal aliens than their own American citizens, to prevent us going backwards. We all need to pull a Republican's ticket. I will vote for every Republican on the ticket. I will vote for anybody but a Democrat. And it's because of what the Democratic Party stands for today, which is so far removed from JFK. It makes Bill Clinton look like a conservative. That's how bad the Democratic Party is today, and we cannot trust them with the levers of power.
Well, when I tell people to do the research, I mean, people are not stupid. If they'll go do the research, they will see what the Democratic Party has become and where they're going and what exactly it is that they want. You know, if you go and look at their policies and what they plan to do, they plan on raising taxes. You know, right now we have the highest black home ownership and the lowest unemployment rate in blacks in this country. In
We're
the last,
doing a lot better as a country. I agree.
and
I agree.
you have the lowest Hispanic unemployment and the highest Hispanic home ownership that's ever been. So why would you take that when, and you're going to take, and Trump, every policy except for everything that he's promised except for one thing, putting Hillary, locking Hillary up, but that was more of the people saying lock her up, lock her up. You know, he's done everything plus more.
I hate to get cut in on this, but that brings me to another favorite topic of mine. What's the most fun thing? Is it lock her up or CNN sucks? I personally enjoy saying both of them. Okay, I want to go to a Trump rally. I don't want to be limited to lock her up. I also want to be able to say CNN sucks. Okay, because I think really CNN sucks may even be more powerful than lock her up. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, the CNN is not winning any awards in my book ever. I mean, well, they're owned by. If you look at what, go back and look, and I'll get the stats next week. You're coming on next week, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, next week I'm gonna bring in. I'm gonna bring in.
Being here.
I'm gonna bring in the employees of CNN and their spouses, and that worked for Obama in the White House at the time. The same way ABC, all about Clintons, CNN, Clinton News Network, and CBS, Clinton Broadcasting System, and bring those in and let people see how many people were related in those news organizations to Obama. Ann writes in, she said, he was voted in because he was black, 57. That was what she said, that was what got her involved, and she said that he made the divide that's happening now, and she's absolutely right on that. Here was a black president.
The most president of our time was Obama, but the Obama media people, all the people you just named that are out of power right now, that spend basically 24/7 denigrating our president, denigrating our country. The same people, they were in the Obama White House. Well, they're out of power now because our president's trying to clean the swamp. And I got to tell you, the media, major mainstream media, is part of the swamp, and they need to be cleaned up because they're not doing their jobs. They are way too biased. They're remotely fair.
You know what I miss, Greg? I miss the days of when Walter Cronkite would come on, and he would give straight up facts, not his side of the opinion,
right?
But he actually did. That was in the days when we actually had real reporters and real writers
Roger
and
Mudd.
stuff.
You had people that had dignity. Another show that is really deteriorated is that Meet the Press is probably at its all-time low. I don't know what the ratings are. You might want to look into that. They got to be terrible. That show is it's just a disaster. It's just gone down the tubes. It used to be a respectable newscast. Now it's more propaganda.
Yeah, and instead of Meet the Press, now it's called Meet the Rest. And just rest of them, put them all in one bucket and shove it over a cliff.
That's true.
I don't know how that, you know, Maxine Waters, now Nancy Pelosi, and all these guys are getting away with what's happening to Brett Kavanaugh. Go to his house, write stuff on his house. You know, these kids show up and
They're idiots. That's what you have with the left-wing lunatic fringe. You know, and they're more dangerous than anybody on the right now. The left has lost their minds.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see what happens this next coming week. But we have busted an hour out so quick, Greg. It's unreal. You're going to be back here next week?
Yes, if you want me.
Yeah, I guess Ann wants you to come back on. She's sitting there typing in a bunch of questions. I'm trying to get through all of them. We got a few people typing in questions and stuff. Some of them are stupid.
Well, let me just, so as we say goodbye, just remember that the Democrats have lost their mind. We only have about 3 weeks to the election. And you may know something about that. This guy, Jolly, they love wheeling him out like he's a Republican. Apparently, he might have been a rhino for one. Like, he's kind of like the guy from the MSNBC thing that used to have the morning show with his girl. What's that guy's name? Scarborough. Apparently, he's like Scarborough, but this guy Jolly is always ripping the Republicans, and like they're actually put him on there like he speaks for the Republicans, and he doesn't. I don't. These guys completely misrepresent just about everything they're doing.
That guy didn't know the difference between a bull's ass and a banjo. Cletus knows more about politics than him.
I know. I agree.
You know.
All right. Well, listen. Good seeing you. I'll see you guys next week.
All right. Give a plug for your law firm real quick. Come see me, Greg.
Hey, well, I have to plug in. The people that need to see me, they know how to get a hold of me.
There's his number and stuff. If you have criminal crap that you've gotten involved in, or you need a good attorney to represent you, I've known Greg for quite a few years now, and normally I don't say there's any such thing as a good attorney, but Greg is a good attorney. And you guys that listen to me, you know I don't blow smoke up anybody's butt or try to piss down the back of their neck convince it it's raining. He represents my firm and has represented me, once? Yeah, once.
Yeah, but it was quite the case. I'll tell you what, those Florida wildlife and game cases, they're always interesting.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to talk about that on the air one night.
I had a hunter once and his son, and it's just a father-son hunting thing, and that turned into a disaster. He had to go to court for a while to get that. And the poor prosecutor was some PETA prosecutor, and he just didn't like hunters around at all. But fortunately, common sense prevailed, and he had a good outcome.
Yep. Well, thanks for coming on tonight, Greg. I'm going to cut you loose now, and we will see you next Tuesday night.
All right, and have a great day.
Okay, Greg, thank you.
See ya.
That was Greg Williams. Okay, yeah, guys and gals, the main important thing here is that you get out and vote. Greg and I, we have different opinions on certain things, but educate yourselves. Know what your candidate's about. Know what the party is about. Do not vote party. If they're trying to take away your crumbs, as Nancy Pelosi says, or they're trying to charge you for health care, or overcharge you, or make it look like a tax, don't believe the lies. Go out and educate yourselves. Don't take my word for it. Don't take Greg's word for it. Don't vote Republican or Democrat. Vote what you feel to be right. And if you think open borders and giving our country away and our young kids should have to pay for everybody else's health care, which they're not going to do it. Hell, half of them don't even have jobs anymore. If you think that's right, then vote that way. I'm not going to tell you not to vote the other way. If you want to be dumb, vote stupid. If you want to be smart, educate yourselves and learn what's going on. I got shout outs to do to Aiden, little man is listening tonight. Thank you, Ann, for listening and writing in the stuff. I'm sorry we didn't get to get to all your questions, but no, you're awesome, lady. I hope you got the book and I hope you enjoyed it. By the way, type in and let me know if you got the book that I sent you. They went out on, when did it go out?
I think it was Friday.
Friday
or Monday. I don't know. I can't remember.
As slow as our mail is here.
It was Friday. I do remember it was Friday.
You might get it in the next month, Ann.
I know, right?
But it did go out. I did not send it.
She got it today.
Oh, she got it today. Sweet.
Wow.
Okay, I want to thank you guys for listening. You can catch us on iitwradio.com, on Facebook, on ITW Radio, or if you want news, We'll be keeping you guys in touch with what's going on with the storm and stuff. You can go to The Putnam Way. My partner Tammy does a kick butt job on it. Okay, and remember to hit the like button up there on the YouTube thing. It's right there somewhere.
It's below.
Little dingy bells. Just hit that. All right, we love you guys. Thank
Don't
you
forget
for
to check us out on Twitter also.
yeah, on Twitter too. I don't have to go home, but I got to get out of here. And tomorrow night we'll be back in here with who knows? I don't know. We'll figure out something. You guys have a good evening. I'm out.
Night, y'all.
This is David Justin that's closing out the show. I like this song. I like the beat of this. I want to go jam with this guy.
I know, right? I love his music. Oh, by the way, he's going to be giving out one of his first original albums.
Yeah, he's going to be giving out one of the albums. Shout out to Annette and Audrey, Tammy, my partner, and Cameron. Thank you for doing your work. Chris, thank you. Marie, thank you for what you do. And thank you guys for listening to us, man. We enjoy having you guys.
He's supposed to be giving out a copy of his first album, Speak to the World, an autographed copy. So you guys keep watching on the show and you'll find out next week how you can win one.
Send me a copy of it too, David. And autograph it for me. You guys have a good evening. We're out.
Run away, you and me on these open plains. 100 miles, winding roads, chilly air and a starry sky. And I won't crash, pedal to the floor. We were young and invincible with you. I'm high, I'm free. This night is so divine with you. This feeling I get is like the first time. I'm high, I'm free. This night is so divine with you. This feeling I get is like the first time. No regrets, just you and I. Turning around and looking back, all I see is the rearview lights. With you, I'm high, I'm free. This night is so divine.